not fit for public consumption. You get the blur filter.
Now, wait a minute. If our visages, our being Terry and I's visages, haven't scared off the audience yet, I don't think we're in any danger of you doing that.
Well, tell that to my camera, because clearly it's like, girl, no.
Clearly, we could have a larger audience, if we blanked out our own screens. We are having a negative impact, Paul. You just have to accept it.
I know the worst part of the show is the hosts.
Woo-hoo.
I mean, it's blurry on me. It's clear on Julius's butt. What is going on here?
Julius is a handsome boy. That's what
he is. All right, let's try this again.
Scared him, but not scared him away. Well, Tim, you're a real trooper. You getting rain today?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, no, there were thunderstorms here less than an hour before the show started. I'm like, how are we going to manage this? But they stopped.
We all know that West Texas is the desert. There's no other dry area ever in Texas except the places that are.
Hard to argue with that logic.
It's really hard to argue with that logic. I'm not really sure I would have put it that way, but I understand what you're saying, and I agree. Very much agree. Let's see, what are we doing here? So, yeah, the UK has been baking. Ugh. Yeah, people gripe about, the French, it's so hot, it's 88 and they're dying over there. Yes, because they have no air conditioning.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Sounds like they never needed air conditioning.
Now they do. Time to call the AC companies to move into the European Union.
Oh, my God. Hello, Antoine. UK baking. I think that's called the Great British Bake Off.
Again. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be great for any palm readers who need to give it a go.
I see your lifeline, and it's far too short.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Here we go.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul E. Cooley. Joining me today, Veronica Giguere and Terry Mixon. Always have to sigh after his name. Yeah, ho-hum, because it means like he's going to talk, and that ruins everything.
That's what everybody says.
James says in France they have a whole thing against AC due to a bad rumor that it causes sickness.
That's because the French are idiots then.
That has backfired pretty badly. I think if you go and look at Legionnaire's disease, that's how it was transmitted, was through AC.
Well, what I'm saying is, having lived in Texas, obviously anyone that doesn't accept that AC is needed is obviously insane.
I would totally agree with you there.
There are some cases where you absolutely need to have it, and all three of us live in places where it's kind of a non-negotiable if you, not only for your own comfort, but just for the unmolding of your house.
Yeah, so your house doesn't rot from the inside.
Yeah.
That's bad news. Anyway, what the hell have you been up to, V?
Let's see. Recovering from the road trip. That's been fun. Because everybody got sick. Not like super sick, but just like that annoying cold that doesn't go away.
Paul, you need to have one of these in your books.
Anton syndrome. You go blind, but your brain thinks it can still see. It takes all your other input and makes up what it thinks should be there.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it would put there in the black? What it would try to say? Okay, I'm hearing all these things. I'm smelling. What am I seeing? What's really there? And what it's putting? Oh boy!
Field of carnivorous bacon, like kelp beds, but with teeth.
Kelp beds with teeth. Woo-hoo.
I don't know. Now I'm stuck on carnivorous bacon. I'm not sure that image is going to leave my mind. I don't know what the hell it looks like, but now I want some.
Vampire pigs? I don't know.
Carnivorous bacon. Good God.
So aside from that, writing, working on these projects to meet deadlines, prepping audiobooks, prepping the audiobook after doing 14 in the same series and realize that you switched up your prep technique between the previous book and the current book. So now you're trying to go back and find everything, and you realize you don't have voice samples for characters that you can't quite remember.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You know what? Nobody's going to notice.
I'll notice. And
I notice when I do that.
Depending on the listenership, someone will notice. And
yeah, but the average listener isn't going to notice much, as long as it's not like drastic.
Hold on here. Did you just slam the average listener of my books in specific? Because, we're going to have some throwdown now.
No, they're below average.
Oh, that's
it's
what
totally
I thought you said.
different.
That's totally where I thought you were going.
But the other challenge is that average listeners don't read reviews. Don't leave
reviews.
And that's just the thing. Your average reader, your average listener, those are not the people that leave reviews. It's the folks on the outside ends of the bell curve. So that's okay. Prepping for school to start. So here where I am, school starts the middle of August. It'll start in 2 weeks. Actually, no, it starts the 11th. Which I know is like stupid early for some folks, but we've got to put in time for hurricane days and what have you.
Right.
For those of you who are going to play the cat drinking game, not that we condone drinking.
Totally fun. Totally fun.
This week, you will need to apologize to your liver in advance, because Terry has let like all the cats out. And if you have a cat bingo card, you're going to get all like the uncommons and rares, because they are all going to show up on camera. So just fair warning. So I was saying school is starting, and I have 2 kids who are still in school. One's going to be in a second year of college. One is in high school, but is taking state college classes. And she was making a comment about how with the online components, a lot of teachers are going to AI grading. And my children know my feelings about AI, especially AI when it comes to creativity. And she was really perturbed. She's like, if I've got to do all this work to actually turn in an assignment, why can't they take the time to actually read it and grade it? And my son, engineer, goes, you realize you could probably argue that they can't do that if you're creating original work. And I kind of blinked and I turned and was like, okay, go on. And he's like, well, AI trains off of whatever you feed it. Yep. So if they're using an AI tool to grade and it is going to review and potentially save your work, then you're using your work to train their AI. And he's like, now, if you're a student, I think that like the school owns your stuff. And I said, no, that's a very good distinction. If you are working for the institution, then yes, technically they have they can put ownership on it. But if you're a student, no, you own all your work. So technically, you can have a very good argument about how you cannot have your stuff, or you do not consent to AI grading if you know that the AI is going to be training off of your work and you don't give permission for that. Even more so that one of the classes is a speech class, and she's doing that one in person. But imagine if you're turning in videos or turning in audio and someone's using an AI grader.
Oh, God.
Then you could this is like a huge legal thing.
Yes, it is.
There's another aspect to that.
Keep going.
Because the AI hallucinates because it's being fed stuff that's random, they cannot say that the grading is fair because there is no proof that it's not completely insane and grading off of things that no one would have a clue about. It's unreliable. Nothing that is output from AI can be trusted.
And I mean, there have been, I see in the chat that James has mentioned if AI is training testing for grammar. Yes. However, depending upon what it's using, there are currently cases of where AI is saying, oh, well, it must be spelled like this. No, dumbass, it's not. This is the correct spelling. You've just had too many examples of the wrong spelling that you think that one's right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I can see it flagging stuff where it's like, hey, I'm not really sure about this. But to say that the AI is going to be able to give you an honest, answer of what's there, we're not even close to that.
It's not fit for grading because it is not fit to make judgments.
Yeah, it was very like, so I get to use my decade and a half, years in higher ed and navigating administrative systems to go pick a fight with somebody. This sounds great. I can't wait for it to come up.
Oh my God.
So I may have fun later this year. I really might.
Matt makes a good point. If you come up with the correct solution that the AI doesn't quote unquote appreciate, you could get marked down for an excellent new solution.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Correct. And I think that's what was happening to my son with his class that he just finished, because he was doing differential equations. And the class was in person, but he's still submitting work online. And they're like, yeah, if you don't have the right answer, or what we see is the right answer with the correct process, it's wrong. And I'm like, differential equations problems take up like a full page engineering paper written itty bitty tiny, and you're solving everything out. It's not just like 4 or 5 lines and you're done. So I'm like, So we shall see. It could be fun, but not like I need any more projects.
No, you don't. Well, we'll
I
get to that.
probably don't.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. What about you, Terry, aside from being literally surrounded by your pounce today?
Do I need more than that? I mean, that is everything, right? I went to the bathroom upstairs just yesterday, went in there and sat down and had a dozen cats all watching me as I'm going to the bathroom. And I felt a little judged, just a little bit, as they were watching me going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What? I'm seeing if I could get her to spew. Nope, didn't make it.
Nope.
I tried really hard.
You were. That's okay. I'm just like if you had a dozen, you had a full jury in there.
I did. There was a quorum in there, and they could go ahead and they could make a full judgment on the quality of my poops.
I didn't need to hear that. I didn't need to know that. I just didn't need to any of it. Although I will say, it's like, was it Rogue? Yeah, it's Rogue. If you go into the bathroom to do something, he wants to go in there. And if you don't let him in there, he paws at the door for like 2 or 3 minutes before he finally gets up. So you flush the toilet and you're ready to go out of there, and suddenly the door won't open because he's blocking it. And then his paws start reaching for you beneath the door jamb, and you have to wrestle with this cat to get him out of the way without hurting him. Anyway, that's my life.
Why does your bathroom door open outward?
I don't know.
Is that weird?
No, actually, it's not.
No, mine opens outward.
Mine opened inward.
Maybe you're maybe you're the outlier.
Well, no, because I think so. The way that the main bathroom in my house is set up, there's like the vanity and the shower, and I'm bougie enough they have a tub, so there's that, and then the closets. But then there's also like a toilet closet, and the door on that opens out. But in like the other bathroom that we have, in like the hall bathroom, that opens in. So yeah. I think it's maybe just a function of whether it's like an actual room or if
there's not enough space. There's not enough space. You'd have to slide in and then go past the door if it's not a full-size bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been writing, not as much as I should have, but doing some, getting back in the swing of things, finishing up the editing from the beta readers on the book that I turned in. It gets put onto Amazon on the 6th, and we'll go live 5 days after that. So
Cool.
I've got a few more days to deal with the beta reader comments. I started tallying what I was writing, and last month was around 97,000 words written.
Sweet.
I'm going to see if I can, through July through December, I'm going to see if I can get 500,000 words. Should be able to do it.
That's a lofty goal.
Well, I want to try to at least start seeing that I'm hitting 1 million words a year. I'd like to see more, but 1 million words is pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think a million words is decent. Yeah, I think that's decent.
As he makes the face. What the fuck is this? 1 million words a year, you son of a bitch!
Well, 3,000 words a day for 365 days. That adds up to 1 million words, no?
Yeah, well, I don't write every day. It just doesn't work out for me. I tend to write the days that I do write about 5,000 words, a little bit shy of 5,000 words.
No, I'd like to get on a clip of 3,000 words a day. That'd be nice. Fee, did you say bouge as in short form of bourgeoisie?
No, so I said bougie, which is slang, and it's someone who's so the actual slang term is someone who's considered middle class but wants to be upper class and is determined to live a wealthier, flashier, more lavish lifestyle. Adjectives are fancy, materialistic, snobby. So
sounds like bourgeoisie to me.
Sounds like bourgeoisie to me.
So
Bougie. I love it.
I'm like, y'all haven't heard that, but then I'm thinking, wait, what do I do and watch? So yeah, What about you, Paul?
Rowdy says did a million words in 1 year, but had no time to edit. I can see that being a problem.
The words that I put are edited words, self-edited words, but they get an editing pass.
What have I been up to? I am almost done recording Sakulina. I've got 3 chapters left, so that's somewhere around 10,000 words left to narrate, and then I should be out and have it done, which is freaking awesome because the podcast will start next week. And because we're finally to the end of the black content, I had to tell the podcast listeners yesterday that after 2.5 years of weekly episodes of the black, we have to take a pause. And I haven't heard any I haven't received any pushback yet. I'm waiting for the clown that does. And then I'll have to decide whether or not to go off on him. Whatever asshole that is. So I felt kind of bad about that when I put the last episode up. It's like, man, I wanted it to be continuous. I wanted it to stop at Oceania and go immediately into extinction. It just did not work. Anyway, that's basically what I've been up to is more recording than narration than anything else. And I want to get back to writing camp, and still got to wait on hearing about Kill Shelter from RTP. So a lot of things are up in the air. Still.
Jeez. How long's it been?
What has it been? 3-4 weeks? And we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, hopefully I'll get back to writing next week at some point. Once I get this audiobook done, I'll be free to do that, which is good because my deadline's like October. And I'm only 6,000 words in, so I need to bust ass.
Oh, yeah, that's
And I'll be gone for 8 days.
Yeah.
I gotta bust ass. Anyway, my timeline notwithstanding, I'm a very linear person. I have a very difficult time multitasking. I often get overwhelmed and want to switch back and forth between all of them and try round robin them. And while that would be great if it worked that way, My brain doesn't work that way. So no matter how many times I've tried to find another way to do stuff so I can be more parallel, it doesn't go well. So I've just decided that, all right, I'm single process, single threaded, so I'll just work on one thing at a time. And that's why I'm getting shit done. But that also means that I have specific goals and deadlines and thus and such out there that I kind of have to meet. And that means the idea of taking on any new work has to go slide back to the back because I still have a backlog that's got to get out. So when I get invited to submit for anthologies, or maybe a publisher says, hey, we'd love you to write a book for us or whatever, you have to do one of three things, which is to say no, which is to say yes and then figure out which piece of work that you're working on that you're going to drop for this and manage it that way. Or you pile yourself up with more stuff that you have to get done. And since a lot of folks are part-time writers, that would get out of control really fast, that kind of backlog. So that's where I kind of think about it, is you have to be careful about what there's all the new shiny that you want to go play with. Somebody's putting together some kind of crazy anthology that you want to be a part of. Well, about that novel you're trying to finish, about that short story or novella you were planning on getting out there. You have to kind of make decisions of what you're going to drop, because you can't keep juggling all that many balls, especially if you have a day job. So, my 2 cents. What do you think, V?
I mean, for me, this is the time of year where I get reminded of it, because I wind up taking July off, more or less, when it comes to reporting.
What are you, French?
What?
I said, what are you, French?
No, just overworked. I was just about to say. But getting back into the swing of things this time of year, it's like, okay, so the audiobook stuff, I got to do the stuff that brings in money, which means, okay, I have to audition for things. I have to see what projects are next on the docket. Also got writing, plus a deadline, which I'm not used to having deadlines with my writing. So I'm trying to frantically get stuff done when I can on that project. And then other family stuff comes up. It's high school bowling season. I am the assistant coach for that team, which means I have to be at the bowling alley 4 days a week and be responsible for communicating with parents and typing stuff up and saying things over and over and over. And just more or less having to tune my brain to that and my energy level to that until November. And then there's general family stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's school starts. So it's the start of school. It's the new routines in the house. And for anyone who has, kids at home, or who has to deal with the change in routine with the start of the school year, it's making time to make certain things easier. So whether it's, all right, I have to set aside so much time so I can plan meals, so I can pack lunches, so I can have things available for adults to do that on their own, so I'm not doing it for them. But then there are always going to be those people who go, oh, well, you can help with this, can't you? And I'm like, I could. But I know 2 things about myself. One, I don't do anything halfway. I feel bad. It's like if I'm going to put my time and energy into it, I'm going to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
The corollary to that is I'm going to make sure it's done right. And if it's not being done properly and I'm invested in it, I will kindly take it over until it is done right. Otherwise, I don't want to be a part of it. And then there's a weird middle where I feel guilty. And I have to decide, well, do I keep helping or do I walk away? Because there are other things I could do with my time and energy. And that can be that's social stuff, that's volunteer stuff, but that's also writing things.
Yes.
And sometimes it's, you gave the example of the anthology. Oh yeah, I'd absolutely love to, but what if they can't give you answers and deadlines keep changing and you're sending emails and nobody's getting back to you? And suddenly this thing that sounded like a really good idea is taking more it's taking up more non-writing energy around a writing thing. Roddy says V needs to learn that magical word, no. So, yes, I do. And I have told people no. I've been asked to serve on local association boards. And I was like, I don't have the time to devote to that I think would be necessary. And then someone goes, oh, but it doesn't take that much time. It's like, I understand you don't think it takes enough time. It takes that much time. But if I'm going to do it, it's going to be done right. And a couple of these, I'm like, and I would wind up taking over, and that would be a bad thing. Because and yes, James, you're right. In some cases, that's a very polite masking for hell no, absolutely.
And just like my is fuck you. And so there's
yeah. So it's but it happens with writing. It happens with narration gigs. There's some things I'm like, oh, I should really audition for this. I'm like, should I? Because yeah, I want to audition for things, but if I audition for everything, even if I don't think it's a good fit.
Somebody's excited.
Yeah, somebody yelled. Hang on.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Bless your heart.
Sorry, someone was going to work and wanted to yell, bye. I'm like, there's a show, child. But yeah, the accepting that you can't do everything, realizing that sometimes you have to plan to not do everything, and only accepting those things you're going to really enjoy. That's another thing. If your heart's not in it, but you feel obligated,
yeah, that's when
it's a
tough.
sign to not do it.
Been there,
I had
done
to,
that.
in the writing sphere, I had to make a judgment call a number of years ago to stop writing short stories for anthologies because it was taking time away from my novel work that I couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't paying the bills in the same way. So I said, it's taking too much of my time away from the things that is paying the bills. It must go.
I want to get some time to write some more short stories, but I got to clear my backlog first.
I thought you were going to say your bladder, and I was like, I'm not sure how this is, related.
Back
Where
to the back.
hell?
Okay.
Anyway, yes. I think it's too many cats, man. It's fried your brain, all that fluff.
I'll have to get the wife to go in there with the tweezers and pull all the cat hair out of my ears so I can hear again.
You just get one of those little what is it? The little the compressed air things that you use to clean the keyboard. Just
put it in there,
right
blow
there.
in one ear, and all the hair comes out the other side.
I fear that when I fear for the people who do the autopsy, should there be one on my body, because they're going to find dog and cat dander and hair stuck in my brain because somehow I got in through everything, and my lungs, I wasn't damaging through smoking. It's just the fact that I have all this fur stuck in my lungs. I can completely see this. It could happen. There are so many opportunities out there. We know folks who are putting together anthologies all the time. Mm-hmm. We know folks who have magazines that are looking for stories all the time. And if that's what you like to do, man, that's awesome, because there's just a lot of opportunities out there, more than you think.
Oh yeah.
What they pay, that's completely different. But if you're looking to basically get your name out there and get published, it's a good way to go. But novels are obviously where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
Or longer works, I should say.
That's not saying that you shouldn't. It's if the thing is, if you enjoy that, plan for it. Like, if I know that when I take on certain projects, I plan to have so many that are like high paying projects. And then I do keep some time set aside for projects that may not pay as well, but I'm really going to enjoy because they're portfolio projects, or they let me play with a genre that I've not played with before. And it's a great example of what I can do in that genre. And short stories are the exact same way. I mean, it may be a way to play with an idea for a story that you have later on, play in that world, play with that character. And we're not saying that you shouldn't, do short stories, but check to see if it's meeting your end goals and if you have the time and energy to devote to it.
Yeah. Terry has this saying, it's something about would I be better off writing?
Yeah.
Is that what you say? What would I be better off
writing?
writing?
Test.
Wibbo
would
test.
I be better off writing?
So the Wibbo test, strangely enough, my audio passes the Wibbo test, which is terrifying. But huh?
In what way?
I make more money on audio than I do on book sales right now. So audio definitely handles the Wibbo test. Mm-hmm. But that said, if you're trying to finish novels, if you're trying to write novellas, or you got a bunch of work in the air that you haven't decided on, taking on another piece of work isn't going to solve the backlog problem. It's going to exacerbate it. I understand everybody needs a palate cleanser every now and then. Short story anthology stuff like that is great for that. And like I said, I'd like to write some more short stories. They're kind of based in the Suits universe because I love that universe, even though it's not an official series, so to speak. So I'd like to write some more. I'd like to write some more of those. And Rick's great. Rick's very, very, very correct here. Shorts can be a nice mental reset between longer projects, especially if you're doing something epic. Mm-hmm. So I think you basically have to look at it and say what's going to work for that goal. And the other thing is, we've talked about this many times before. It's good to have a goal. A goal to accomplish. I'm going to finish that novel this year. I'm going to write, 90,000 words this year, or whatever it is. Or Terry, I'm going to write 1,000,000 words this year.
Good luck, Terry.
Yeah, or it can be, I'm going to write for 2 hours every Wednesday morning before I start my workday. Or I'm going to write for an hour in the evenings at least 3 days a week. It doesn't have to be a word count thing. It can just be a time on task thing too, especially if you're trying to build a habit.
Xander says, I write mostly short stories since I'm still trying to learn general storycraft. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are different techniques with writing a short story versus writing something longer.
Sure, but I think you got to cut your teeth somewhere good.
You do, but maybe a side bit to don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Just because you haven't mastered your short story, don't let that stop you from trying to write something longer.
I'm 54 and I still haven't mastered short stories. Randy says, I love to read and write novellas, but readers prefer long fantasy books. Yes, they do.
They do.
And novellas barely earn much in KU.
But then it's like serializing them. Because KU readers, if you have a lot of stuff out there, sure, write the shorter stuff, but rapid release the shorter stuff so people can go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's essentially a longer fantasy book.
That's what's working for Dungeon Crawler Carl, is it not?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's writing and releasing a lot of them. I'm not sure that that's quite the same thing as writing a bunch of short stuff and releasing it. It's similar. It's related, but it's not quite the same thing.
Well, yeah, but he's putting out 30,000 word bites
it?
or whatever.
I didn't realize that he was writing such short stuff. I haven't read that particular series.
At least I thought he was writing shorter stuff. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
I had been under the impression that it was novel stuff on KU. Now, what he's released, what may have been released on Royal Road, may have been a chapter at a time.
there we go. Yeah, started as a web serial on Royal Road. Okay, maybe that's why I'm confused. Oh, somebody said, what is a longer story but a short story with B plots and C plots?
I mean,
And also like 3 short stories stacked in a trench coat.
I mean, but that's a really good point. Think about movies that started out as short stories. My favorite example, and I know it's going to be Stephen King on this one because he does this a lot, Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption started, it's not a novel.
It's a novella.
It's tiny. But it got pulled out and added to and expanded upon in the screenplay. Or there were little bits and ideas that got pulled out into scenes. So, yeah, a handful of short stories, definitely, if they're contingent. I mean, the Secret World Chronicle, the series, those books, it's a braided novel. Each chapter is a standalone short story. They're sequential.
Right. It's kind of what I did with Garaga. Matt says, how much drop-off do you tend to get on longer series? Or does something like KU cross-advertise to your longer works? Wow, I don't even know.
I don't see a ton of drop-off in longer series because by the time you're getting there, as long as you don't have, I don't know, 40 novels in your long series, it's a fairly slow drop-off after those first few books because the people you're going to lose, you've lost them already.
Yeah. I think it's really hard to quantify that when you're dealing with a publisher because you don't see some of the numbers that would kind of help you figure that out. But I know that with Derelict there was a significant drop off, but I think that's because of what I was doing. It was a saga and nobody understood it, which was fine. It is what it is. I made those decisions. I live with them. But like with the Black, I'd have to go back and check, but there's a fall off between the original and Arrival and Outbreak. But Arrival and Outbreak are pretty close to one another in how many people read both of them. And Evolution has not done as well, which also is fine. And it'll be interesting to see what Oceania does, and even more interesting to see what Extinction does when the series is done. And then we'll see exactly what's what. As far as some of those numbers go, and I'll get some ideas about exactly what I saw and what happened with those books. And some of that's all dependent, though, because right now things are so crazy with KU. It's really, really hard to tell what's really going on out there in the market. At least for me, it's really tough to tell. Because at least the KU numbers gave you some idea of people finding your books and everything else. Now you have no idea if they're seeing you at all, other than how many book sales you get. So it's kind of tough to gauge exactly what's going on with the Black books in that sense. And I'm sure Terry doesn't get all the visibility into all of his series.
I do not.
But he did have visibility into his own series.
Back when it was making money, yeah.
Back when it was making money.
When you write and you're writing underneath a publisher for a long period of time, your own personal income drops off a cliff. That's the way it works.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have insight into my own numbers anymore because while they are there, they are minuscule.
Compared to what they were. Yeah. So there's I think there's some tips and tricks there that we're not aware of at this point. But I'd love to know. I'd love to know exactly, how much of a drop off there is. Maybe I'll have to check on something like that with my next series. Oh, you guys are naming short stories that became movies.
Mm-hmm.
Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream. Heinlein's All You Zombies.
Wasn't I, Robot originally a short story?
iRobot's actually a collection of short stories.
Ah, gotcha.
Xander says, only time I drop long series is when book 4 is like a nothing book, where it's all set up to book 5, but has no story in and of itself.
Yeah.
That happened with miniseries, the bridge book, as I've called them. Yeah. I don't know if I completely agree with what you said about bridge books where there's no story. I understand there are many out there, but sometimes the bridge book is absolutely necessary. The trick is to actually make it compelling and not just set up. I understand what you're saying about they're just being set up and nothing's new happening with the characters, nothing's new happening with the story. If you have to write the bridge book, I've had to write 2 of them. My advice is to make sure that you do have a story. And if you are trying to set up other stuff, that needs to be in the background. Mm-hmm. It does not need to be in the foreground. Figure out something for these people to do. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just drama or whatever else, give them a gunfight, something. You just need to make sure that there's something that they're doing, even while you're doing all the setup in the back. So that by you get to the end, everybody knows what's up. Next book starts, you don't have to do any of that shit.
Yeah, if you want good examples, look at. And I'm always a fan of going to a different medium. Look at some long form video games, like long form RPGs, because you always have like the main like big missions to go through, and then there are a bunch of side quests. A lot of times the side quests have that like B plot or C plot. Look at the B plot and C plots that happen after the midpoint event, and then see how those go. Because a lot of times those, there are bridges to get to, the final act, but that's also usually when the individual characters resolve their challenges so that by the end of that 4th book, if you're looking at a 5-book model, by the end of that 4th book, they have accomplished things on a personal level to make them the heroes that the story needs them to be for the 5th book. So that may be a way to look at it. So
Sandra says it is the lack of bridge books being compelling. It's just like, here are new things and people, but no stakes or a conflict. Or the conflict is just, here's new stuff. We need to learn it.
Yeah, and I'm saying they can do better. There are better ways to do it.
Xander also says, a big problem in lit RPG and progression fantasy stories, though not always book 4, sometimes it's like book 6. But typically when the light main story finishes up and it just keeps going. When the main story finishes up, okay.
I can see that. Because a lot of times with your endings, with a lot of like really good finale endings, you have that nearly almost victory, and then something happens and they can't completely close the deal. And then it's like, oh crap, now what do we do? And then they have to regroup, and that regrouping winds up being the setup for the actual finale. So
characters should fail, and they should fail often.
Well, yeah. That's how you learn, right?
Exactly. If you got it done right the first time and it all worked, it wouldn't be any fun.
That's right.
Rowdy says, I just published a bridge book to set up a bigger story in the next, but the characters do have and complete a mission.
There you go.
As long as you do that, you're cool. Now, this was my question to you, V. Are you going to look me in the eye and tell me you don't go around and do all the side quests for no good reason?
Oh, okay. First of all, there's a very good reason to do all of the side quests. And that's because you want all the achievements at the end.
Yes.
Because I am totally a completionist when it comes to all these kinds of games.
Strategically, though, it's also good to do all the side quests because that's where you do most of your leveling up.
Yes. And that's where you get all of your lore.
And
so
all
that
of your
you
gear.
understand the world and all of the neat things there. But yeah, that's where the XP is. That's how you're able to waltz into the midpoint battle of the saga and not get a team wipe because you've gotten your character and your party beyond the minimum level. So you walk in there, it's like, oh, yeah, this is easy. Smack. And you're done.
We did when I played Dead Island with B-Man. It was all about the side quests. It was like, all right, we got to go do the side quest, get a cool weapon, go to the next side quest, upgrade that cool weapon, next side quest, upgrade that cooler weapon, and just keep going. And then by the time you got to the end, you had some just kind of Thor's hammer bullshit that you struck the ground and kill everything in sight of you.
Yeah. I'm currently the Mighty Ginger and I are playing through Dragon Age Inquisition because we've tried to play through before. We're still doing the playthrough. And I think we're about a third of the way through. And I play Overwatch. He goes and hits things and that works. And he'll go, well, we can go on to the next thing. No, we are going to completely explore this map before we leave. Well, how come? Because there's a dragon and you want to be able to smack it. Oh. So can we do that? No, you can't do that. You need to do all the other side quests and all the collections and all this and that. And like, that's required level 50, actual level when you hit it 75. Yes. It's very satisfying. Very satisfying.
Rowdy says the real reason to write is to do terrible things to imaginary people so you get it out of your system and can be nice to fools in real life. Right? Right? Ay, ay, ay. Over-leveled. Yeah, I'll check that out after we get done here. Before the After Dark. Let's check out your over-leveled video in the live chat. I like the side quests, damn it. Some writer went to a lot of the writer, the person who created the world went to a lot of trouble to create those side quests for you. And some of them are absolutely hilarious. Some of my favorite parts of GTA were the side quests because they were so insane. And you got to do all sorts of cool shit that the main game didn't let you do, but you could do them on the side quests. And then you just kept leveling up as you went through. It was just wonderful.
Right. And I mean, but you brought a good point. It helps you level up. And those are the good side quests. The bad side quests, the ones you should say no to, see how I'm bringing it back to the topic, look at that. Mm-hmm. The ones that you say no to are the ones that don't let you level up, or that take away too many of your resources, or that drain all your health potions and you wind up like dragging yourself back to your respawn point because you can't do anything else. Those are bad side quests, and you should say no to them.
You have to learn to say no.
Say no. Bad side quest. No XP.
I feel like I've been on some bad side quests in the last 2 years.
You sure that your life isn't a bad side quest?
Man, right now we've reached a stability plateau. So I'm pretty happy with things, but I know that it's just a matter of time before the plateau drops again. So I'm enjoying my time of stability.
Okay. When you've got a plateau that drops out from underneath you, it's called a trapdoor.
Yeah, till you hit the next plateau.
Or you're standing on, the place where they've got the hangman's noose and you don't quite get to the floor.
I like to think of my life like a Looney Tunes cartoon. It's just either I keep blowing myself up or I'm Yosemite Sam, and in between blowing myself up, I'm trying to blow other shit up and end up blowing myself up anyway.
So you're not the guy on the hangman's platform going, first time?
I don't know. What you're describing, it felt very Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian. Yeah, yes, it does sound like Marvin the Martian. Cooling and stability in the same sentence. Yes. Yes. Stability is wonderful when you get it. Matt says, side quest, beat the vampire rabbit with the staff of celery. What the fuck? Cool. Leroy Jenkins.
First of all, don't you dare besmirch Banicula, because that was a great series. Great kid series.
Where was the earth-shattering kaboom?
Where was the earth-shattering kaboom? The RF-35 modulator.
Space modulator.
Space modulator. I need to do that voice in an audiobook. I really do. There needs to be with some character who's only on screen. It has like maybe 10 lines most. But it would be so goddamn funny to do that.
That's the sound of an AI that was programmed poorly.
Aren't they all programmed poorly?
Oh boy, here we go. In Looney Tunes, it's the Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator, also known as the Illudium PU36, the aluminum PU36 explosive space modulator, or uranium PU36. Apparently there was a little bit of thing going on there.
I wonder if that was intentional or not. It'd be really funny if it was intentional. If they wanted to make it different every time on purpose. It would be something they would do. That's something that the Animaniacs would do.
This makes me so angry.
Oh no. Rick says, bring back the automated submersible from Black with that voice.
AUV5, yes. Justice for AUV5.
I like the fact that thing had no personality and was just do-do-do-do-do. I have no idea what's going on around me. Do-do-do-do-do. Ooh, big monster. I'll take a picture of that. Do-do-do-do-do. Say nothing. Tell no one. Always funny that Gremlins became a cartoon thing with WB. Yeah. Yeah, because it was originally a World War II thing they were blaming on why airplane parts fell off and everything else was Gremlins.
Yep.
AUV5, let it loose somewhere like Europa under the ice. I have Station 3 has a bit of this, but I really do like the idea of sending a team to actually explore underneath the ice. I really do love that idea of taking robots down there and checking stuff out and what they see. You know, the question is, what is the conflict? Is the conflict that the monsters come out and try and eat them, the life forms that they discovered? Or is there some other conflict going on? Is there a conflict among the crew? Is there a conflict of... I want to write this, but I haven't figured out what the conflict is. So, but I do love that idea. Shark eats and turtle thinks. Yes. Yeah, I still want to write the book about Handley 5, just so I can get with Zilf again. That was a fun character. Gremlins from the Kremlins. It was an RAF thing. Yeah. The Americans stole it from the RAF. All right. We have babbled about this. What else do you folks have for us?
I don't know. I'm writing things down for possible topics later on.
Oh, Lord. The conflict among the crew. It's secretly a Hallmark Christmas movie, and it's finding the meaning of Christmas.
This is not a Star Wars Christmas. Don't you do that.
While fighting monsters. Oh boy. Oh boy. I actually can see that happening. I am not writing that, but I can see it.
Die Hard in Space? Is that what we're hearing now?
I don't know, man. I want to write a SF book called Serious Bitches. Serious spelled serious. SIRIOUS.
Or like the star?
Serious, yeah, the star. Serious Bitches. I like that.
Oh, man. If not like a full book, if someone's got like So that would be a great name for like an intergalactic girl group. So if you need like a group performing at, a stage or a bar, Serious Bitches?
No, it's the A-Team. It's the A-Team. Serious Bitches. It's the A-Team. You call it Serious Bitches and you get a bunch of women from Sirius who are just like kick-ass assassins and fixers. You see what I'm saying?
That's a series right there. That is.
Yes, it is.
It gives very much like Scooby-Doo Monster of the Week, but then you have like an overall arc with like some
bad guy they're dealing with outside of the episode. Some menace
like
that's tracking them down or whatever.
Some system mobster who's trying to do something. Maybe there's like a family tie. Maybe they all have little issues that you've got to deal with. Write that. I will narrate the shit out of that. Oh, great.
I like that. James says, I just rewatched Frailty, and I think we need more movies / books like that. Is that the movie with Bill Paxton and... Oh, God, I can't remember who else is in there. Is it Bill Paxton? I can't remember who else is in that movie. You're going to have to tell me because I've forgotten. I didn't know it was a book. Could have a whole series. Serious Problems, etc.
I love this. I love this idea.
No, you have to say no.
I don't have
no more
time
side
for
quests. None.
I don't have time for it. I have other projects on my on my schedule. But that's a really cool idea.
James, now I have to go read that book because I love the movie. I love that movie. It is a good flick. Pretty goddamn depressing, but a good flick. Yeah, seriously, V, say no.
When you type it in there, it needs to be like SRSLY. Seriously.
Why? Why?
Oh, by the way, I have an announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
I am repudiating my membership in the baby boomers generation.
Okay.
I've made that decision.
Okay.
I am throwing in my lot with Gen X.
Oh, you're so fucked. You're grumpy enough.
Well, you see, I was born at the beginning of November in 64, which is the final year of the baby boomers. So I'm a month and change away from that cutoff point anyway. And I just don't fit in with the baby boomers. I don't think like them. I think more like the Gen X. So I've decided, came to the conclusion of like, nope, I'm Gen X. I'm just throwing in my lot with them. I'm what do you call it? A prototype Gen Xer. There you go.
Well, that is the most boomer thing I've ever heard, Terry.
All right. Good thing you live in France, pal. It's a good thing you live in France.
Oh, that was awesome. That was just awesome.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like that weird sliver generation where it's like you're almost too young to be Gen X because I was born in 78, which is tail end Gen X. No, he can't be serious. He's Terry. But I'm too old to be considered a millennial. So, I mean, I firmly love like the little like micro generation of Zennials because there's just Zennial, yeah, or like the Nintendo generation, the qualifier that if you had some kind of music album, you had to have it in like 6 different formats, and the reason everyone is so salty is because we had to keep rebuying stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but I keep hearing them talk about, the feral children of Gen X. I'm like, I'm the feral children of Gen X. I was feral when I grew up. Get out of the house. Feral. Come back when it's dark.
We were the feral kids, man. Why don't you get out of here for a while? Go break something. Okay.
See, I would have been a feral child, except where I grew up, there was just enough like social panic about kidnappings that my mother would not like. You had like stay in the yard. You had to have eyes on at all times and all this. I'm like, okay, but in terms of the go outside and play, yeah, don't come back inside. Okay, what if I have to go to the bathroom? Well, go back outside. Okay. Yeah.
On that note, if you have a question or comment about this episode, you can visit deadrobotssociety.com and punch that comment button and leave us an email. We'll be happy to respond to it on the show, assuming it's not boxers or briefs. We're tired of that question. You can join our community on Discord. The link is in the show notes. We'd love to have you join our madcap menace of YouTube video links, music, and God only knows what else these people are putting in here now. If you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows like the one that's coming up in, look at that, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. And at the $10 level, you get your name read. And our $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Antoine Batts, Tony L. Joy, Rick Shaw, and Lisa Slack. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. Possible?
Ooh. You want to make this show pustule? What? Pustule?
I cannot.
I refuse to respond to that. Before I mix up and create any more word salad, I think we're going to call this to a close. Thank you for hanging out with us on this wonderful Saturday. I hope you had fun, and we will see you next week.
Word salad and After Dark.
Yeah.
You know what? We do too.
Rick, really? Really? We're going on like that? Okay. We're gone now.